what's going on? He said, no, I'm telling you, he good. He's like, nah, I'm just saying, because then you just see all the rest of us start to make our way downstairs. Like, it's happening. I'm like,
it's happening.
It's like 20 niggas in there talking could have been like, yo. He's like, no, I got it. I'm like, nigga, they don't get that checkbook right out on you. Welcome back. Happy Monday, another episode. We got a special guest today. Besides my host, John Grimes.
Yo.
The guest we got today, only person ever host Def Comedy Jam and Showtime at the Apollo. Starred in All of Us. Think Like a Man. Countless other shit. Touring all over the country. Got a special out right now. Without further ado, welcome Tony Rock.
Thank you.
Glad you're here, bro.
Thanks for having me, man. You know what it is.
Yeah. You always show up, so you know what I mean. I wasn't surprised.
He gave me the address. I was like, wait, where's this at?
Because you was about to go to the other spot. Yeah, I ain't figured that because like when you text me and was like, "What's the address again?" I was like, "Oh yeah, he's."
And I type it in the phone and it shows the street.
Right.
I'm like, this don't look like the spot from.
Oh yeah. Nah, we moved and shit.
Oh, got it.
He was going to Keith's.
Over on Westchester.
On Westchester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks nice. This is nice. They got a nice setup here.
Appreciate it.
Got the drapes up here. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I watched the special last night. Jamie's joint.
Solid, right?
One man show, not special.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't like a comedy
One man,
special.
I will give it that, but I thought it was special in the sense of a one man show. Like he had the elements that make you go, "Oh wow, he put together a whole show for us." And I feel like that showmanship has been lacking a little bit on people who are getting so-called specials. So if you, as a comic, I took away like you can make it a show. It's okay to make it a show. Is what I took away from that. Like I know he wasn't like hardcore stand up, but it was like a show. Which is what people want to see when they get out of the house. Like
so for him being gone for so long, like when you seen him, you was like, oh yeah, this award's like, okay, I can see that he ain't did this shit in a minute.
I had that notion more so than
this he ain't did it in a minute.
Like happy to see, yeah.
I definitely did come from it as let me see what bits he got when I first saw. I was like, I can only imagine. So I ain't seen him work this set out or anything. So I was like, whatever he about to do, he must just be comfortable doing. So I was like, all right, let's see how he performs.
But that's the thing. He didn't. It was no jokes. It was very few jokes.
Right.
So you don't have to work out telling a story.
True.
Telling the story he's basically like, my sister said this. I went to the hospital. They told me this. You could tell that story over and over again 1,000,000 times. There's nothing to remember. You're just telling the story.
And I think
so you don't have to work that out. You don't have to go to the comedy store to work out on. My sister called the ambulance. They came to get me. My daughter was playing the guitar in the hospital. It's like.
I think Trey was the one that said it on Facebook. He was like, before it came out, he's like, I'm concerned that this is comedy. You can't just skip the line and just not be working his material out at these places. Because like we ain't seen him at no Laugh Factory, no comedy
Trey was the
store.
same one that said he saw some of the material and it was fire and he was waiting for the world to see it. So I was watching it like,
well, maybe
what
Trey
did he see that he thought the world should see?
Well, maybe Trey wasn't the one that said it. So I seen a comic out here say like, we haven't seen him working none of this material out, especially in LA where he lives. So I wonder how good it's going to be because this ain't I don't care how good you are, you can't skip that process.
I agree with that.
Especially not after 18 years or however long he said it was.
He hasn't done a special in 18 years.
I Need Security or what is it?
No, it might have been. No, he did one after that. Thing was like mid. Like
it was Foxhole and I Need Security, right?
Yeah,
I think he got one after that, but like wasn't like it kind of was like mid. Nobody. I could be wrong, but I think he has one after that.
All right.
And so, but either way, it's
one
been
man show is a good way to describe.
It's been at least 15 years.
Yeah.
Regardless, you know what I'm saying? Probably more. So it's like, yo, if you ain't been doing this material, but again, like you said, we all can tell a story right now. Like we gonna do right now. We gonna talk. We gonna make shit funny.
Right.
Just because the word funny.
Right.
But you don't have to be like, well, let me time the punchline a little bit. Like, oh, I stepped on that. Let me slow it down. Yeah. You don't got to do that. We just telling a story. You know how to be funny in a story. I seen a clip where he was like, he basically said, like, I seen the devil at the end of the tunnel. Was like, oh, is that Puffy? Oh, you know what I mean? Like, he just adding a little something in there people will laugh at, but it's not like, you don't have to work that out.
I recently was that taped also.
Plus, you don't got to remember, like.
The truth.
The truth is the truth.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
2 + 2 is 4 every time you ask. I don't have to remember that. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of probably might have been easy for him to do. I just get up there. I know you guys are all wondering.
Right.
The whole room's like bated breath to begin with.
Yeah.
Pins and needles to begin with.
It was dumb silence.
So then it's just like, okay, here's what happened. Now they like, oh shit. And he just told the story. I was waiting for boom, 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 boom. When I watch a special, so now I was like, okay, 10, 15 minutes in, I realized this is not a special. I have to get out of that mind frame of I'm watching a special. I'm watching a conversation with an audience.
Yeah.
I'm watching, hey, you guys came to see me and wish me well, and I'll tell you a little story about what happened to me. That's what it was. It was not a special by any means.
So speaking of specials, let me ask you this, because you got your special out now, but really is way long overdue.
Right.
And if we're being completely honest, it's not even because I know you, it's because I've seen you. People look at like Netflix as like kind of like if you get that's
Right.
like the signature. Now it used to be HBO back
It used to be
in the day,
HBO, yeah.
Now it's like, oh, you got, you know what I mean, Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
stamp, you know what I mean? Probably should have been on that platform, right? Because if you see some of the people who are getting them on Netflix,
Right.
you like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
And then you realize, oh, this isn't a talent. This is a marketing thing.
Right.
This is popularity contest, which
It's popularity, it's marketing, it's
it kind
agency.
of was like that always. Like,
connections.
you know, Martin was popular. He had a show, your brother Eddie. They were all popular, but they were talented. That's why they were popular.
Right.
Now you can be not talented and be popular, and they're like,
Yeah.
boom.
The dynamics have changed. It used to be like you said, it was this that led to that. Now this can be here, and no particular order. You know,
Facts.
so kind of changed. The
So
game.
how do you feel? So, okay. So before I'll preface it by, and I don't think you're like this because I know you, but I know a lot of comics. I don't want to say angry, but they do resent some of the new people who are getting a crazy bag that aren't putting in the work. So when you see that this person got one at this point, and it's, you know, that based on talent, you deserve that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say more than them because everybody got their own path, but based on strictly talent, you deserve that. How does that make you feel seeing someone, you're like, this motherfucker ain't got the work in and shit?
Well, deserve would be the trigger word. Like everybody, you get what you put in. You know, you work hard. You hope to be rewarded based on your talents. I think two trains of thought. When I see people getting the crazy money from, you know, comedy or doing what we do, I feel good about it because I always had this mindset. Okay, that means the money's out there.
Yeah, facts.
They paid so and so $30 million for a special or $50 million. Okay, so that means the money's out there. That means it is doable. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it like it's taking anything away from me.
Yeah.
I look at it like, okay, so you mean to tell me I could get $50 million from doing this thing that I love to do that I was doing for $0?
For zip.
You know what I'm saying? I could get 50 million potentially. Bet. Whoever the person is, does not matter to me.
Yeah.
Maybe
not the, so
wait,
take
one
the
sec.
okay, go ahead.
As far as like me having my special out and it's not on Netflix, I didn't get the stamp. You're right, I didn't get the Netflix stamp.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
and you know, and y'all know, when y'all know, like,
Oh, definitely.
like
We
my man,
definitely know.
what KD said, yo, y'all know me. I'm Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Y'all know me. So yes, that guy got whatever, but y'all know me. Y'all know I get busy. Y'all know what I do.
So maybe more so let's, because I want to frame it differently. Not this person gets it. How do you feel about the way the system operates now? Because
Okay.
so basically, like, okay, I'm doing what I should be doing,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not rewarding it the same way. They're rewarding something else. So let's just take any person out. It
Okay,
could be
yeah. So
anybody.
it's predicated now on, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, it's social media based now.
Analytics,
Yeah.
So the guy that isn't, I'll be on my cocky shit. The guy that's nowhere near as funny as me has 5 million followers. It's based on that.
Yeah.
I'm in the house with the pen and the paper. I'm not really concerning myself with the social media as much. I'm trying to get the jokes perfect. That guy or girl is doing social media based things to further their platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that hits the radar first, as opposed to, damn, he really writes great jokes and he performs really well and he sells out on the road. That shit pops up on their radar first. So now the only changes that I'm making is that I realize I got to play in this space now.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like
I got to play.
you trying to stick to that ain't how I came up, so I'm going to do
No,
this? Or
no,
it's
no,
like
no.
either change
No,
or
no.
sync, you know,
Adapt. Yeah,
adapt.
I have to adapt. I have to play in that lane, and it's another lane for comedy. So as long as there's what it was 4 lanes earlier, now there's 10. You got to get in all 10.
Yeah.
If it's 20 in another 10 years, you got to get in all 20. If you want to be, you know, if you don't want that to happen to you. If you
Yeah,
don't
you gotta
want the
keep
guy,
pivoting. Oh,
you
this
gotta
is
keep
the-
pivoting. Like it's like we all hip hop heads.
Yeah.
We've seen the old guys that are very talented that could do it like that.
Yeah.
They didn't change with the times, so they got. Oh, that's the old dude. We don't listen to him no
The
more.
nigga with the baggy jeans and the
Yeah,
David.
like Jay. That's what Jay did.
yeah.
Jay stayed timeless. Jay, when the times changed, he changed. That's why that was the one thing that I always look at and go, yeah, he just kept. They shifting to here. I'm going here. I'm going here.
He's
they
like a
going-
Ralph Lauren shirt. It's never going out of style.
Yeah.
Some niggas like, oh, baggy jeans is
Yeah.
out, or all these rips and all that.
All these, so
Just
these
True
other
Religion,
cats,
I ain't really
these
in
other
no
cats
more.
was FUBU at its peak.
Yeah.
Jay was like, all right, I'll stay Ralph Lauren.
Yeah. I'm
I'll
Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah.
Polo.
Yeah.
So the special called Rock the World, by the way.
Yes.
I was gonna let him say that, but
Oh yeah.
The special's
nigga,
called
talk
Rock the
your
World. Yeah.
shit, nigga.
Streaming
It's
now.
Rock the World, yes.
So, and it's your first special, hour-long
Yes.
special. And we talking about the word special. Watched it. I think it's great. I see some of the jokes in real time, all over the years now. And I one question I want to ask you about the special is, what are you most proud of about it? And then, what did you learn the most about yourself from it?
Well, good question. Very good question. I'm proud. I'm most proud at the accomplishment because, you guys know for years prior, I was sold a bill of goods that never really came to fruition. I had management, like I can get it done. I had management that I signed with because
the
base-
promises.
just on that statement, I can get the special done. I'm the guy that can get the special done. Okay, well, this is the guy I got to go with because he can get the special done. Nothing. I signed with agents that were like, yo, listen, we know we're going to take you into here, let them come out and see you, and it's going to go. Okay. Nothing. So when I made that decision that year, at the top of the year, that this is the year I'm going to shoot the special, everything I did was to get it done. The people that helped me were very few. So I remember that second night, we taped 2 shows that night. And after the second night, the end of the second show, I stood there and I was just looking at the room. And I'm like, wow, I really, really made it happen. I circled the date on the calendar. I said, I'm not going to move from this date because several times I had circled dates. Like, I'm going to rent this venue. I'm going to do it myself. And, 2 months out, I don't have this in place. I'm going to move the date back. I don't have this person attached. I'm going to move the date back. And the shit would go from January to June to August to November till I'll do it next year.
So for context, he didn't say it, but he paid for all this out of his pocket.
Yes.
This is why he's saying, I didn't have this, or it wasn't like the company or, whoever funded it was like, oh, we got to wait. No, he did this.
Yeah.
So that's just for context for people not listening. Because some people might not know he paid for this out of pocket.
So when I
so
circled,
it's self-funded.
And they're expensive.
After all of those years of empty promises, that year, I think it was 2023, I said, this is what we're doing. Circle the date, March 25th. Everything is tied to my kid. Charleston's born on May 2nd, 5-2.
Yeah.
March 25th, 2-5, 7, God number. I said, that's the date. That's God telling me, like, that's the date. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm not moving from that date. And everything I did from January through February through March was putting everything in place to make sure that date was not going to move. It was all my money. Nobody gave me $1, a dime, a penny, all my money. So at the end of the night, like I said, standing there watching like people leaving and people like, man, that was great. And I can't wait to watch it. And the film crew was like, man, we didn't know, bro. Like I just had hired these guys. They didn't know me.
Yeah.
So they're like, bro, we had no idea. We was just here for a job. We were doing, but we watching the special as you're up there like, holy shit, this guy's good. So all of that accumulated at one moment. And I just stood there like, wow, I really made this happen. I think I might have let one go that night. I was like, man, like,
oh, that's
like I really set a date and made it happen. It's one of those things that I think everybody should have something in their life. If you don't do stand-up, something in your life that you say, I'm going to do this thing, and you take every step to make it happen. And when you get there, you're going to feel such a sense of pride. Like, I fucking really did this.
It's crazy. Good.
And what I learned most about myself, what did I learn most about myself during this process? I don't know if I learned it about myself, but I learned the patience. I learned patience. I learned, you got to reach out to people and have those conversations. And You got to sit in meetings, and you got to do it yourself. You have to be present. That's what I learned most. You got to be present. So Dana, who helped me, get it off the ground, I sat in every meeting she was in. She was like, "I got a director. Let's go talk to this guy." I sat with the dude. Like I didn't take anything on face value. The guys that even the camera crew guys, I want to see what they shot. Since I'm putting all my money up, I want to see everything. I want to see what they shot last. Who did they work with last? I want to see who the director directed last. I want to see what specials the sound guy did. And he had just finished the Kev special, which was so funny. Dude had a super crazy house in Hollywood Hills. Went to his house and he was like, "Yo, come and see me work. I'm finishing Kev's last special." And I'm sitting in the studio just watching it and watching him, just sync the sound and make the music this and change the lighting. And I'm like, oh, this guy's the truth.
Different.
And he came out and saw me at the Comedy Store one night when I did Sam Tripoli's show. Sam Tripoli, my man, 100 grand. And he was like, "Man, I was a fan ever since that night I saw you at the Comedy Store." Like when Dana told me there was an opportunity to work with you. So I learned like you got to be hands-on with everything from A to Z. If it's your body of work that you are putting out into the world.
Because nobody's going to care about it more than you care about it.
Nobody's going to give a fuck.
You have to stand on it forever.
Right.
And you'll find anything in life. Like we shooting this, right? I edit all this. You know what I mean? I had someone was like, "Yo, I'll do it for you." I'm like, "Nah," because I want to learn how to do it because I want it to look the way I want it. Right. And if you can't do it one day or you play me, I'm not like, "Oh, shit, the episode's supposed to drop." I get on there, boom, knock it out. I wanted to learn that skill. So now I did it, but it was like, I'm putting my hand on it, but I learned that eventually once it starts making a lot of money, I'm able to hire somebody and sit with them like, "Let me see how you do it. Nah, like this or whatever." But in the beginning, it's like, yo, you got to put the work in. You got to put your hands on it because like you said, like Graham said, this is yours.
Right.
This is a representation of you. So when someone watches it and they say, that's just a reflection of, I mean, everybody might not like it, but if it's because of you cut corners or you pay somebody and they did a shit job, you got to live with that.
Yep.
That's on you, not nobody else.
I truly believe it'll be recognized more later on because of course I'm going to do more. And of course, like that 50 million is coming, or that Netflix stamp is coming. And then after all of that, people are going to go back and look at it like, "Oh, that's his first one." And they're going to go, "Holy shit, we really slept on that." It's some real classics in there. It's really, really, really some bits in there that's like, yo, that's a fucking amazing bit.
Yeah, and the funny thing is like when you do, like if I haven't seen you for a while, right? And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull up." I see him on, Ruby Tuesday, whatever. And I see you do something that I never seen before. I'm like, bruh. Like when you did the Riverboat shit. Listen, I didn't even know the joke existed because I hadn't seen it.
Right.
I hadn't seen you perform that joke since it happened. And I remember sitting up on the rafters, like tears in my eyes, like there's no way, like, because I've heard jokes before that I'm like, these jokes are elite. And then you hear that and you're like, bro, you're just getting better. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just keeps going. So I'm like, man, this shit crazy, but you're putting the work in.
Yeah, I'm gonna. We had this conversation. I want to record something just so I can put that out because it has the shelf life is
a time limit.
I got like maybe a month left, 2 months left. You know what I'm saying? Before it's like, all right, who's talking about that now?
Yeah.
But the bit's so big, it's so strong, it hits so hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna record within I'll say the next month or so. I'm gonna record just like that block of material. I got this Will Smith joke I do, and I tie it into the Alabama Brawl, and I'm just gonna record it and put it out because it's that big that I think people need to see it. I wish it was on a special, but I don't have the time, so I just gotta get it out there.
YouTube, whatever, Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things that goes viral, and then it's like,
you
only can help.
Bro, you never, listen, and I talked to Lonnie right the week after I did the episode with you on the first podcast I was doing. I was talking to Lonnie, she was telling me about this comedian, Ralph Barbosa. I didn't even know who he was. He's from out of Dallas. He did a Don't Tell comedy set. It was like a 10-minute set or whatever. And this ain't even a knock to him. It wasn't like the greatest shit. It was just like, okay, it's cool. Right. And his shit, it just went viral. Had like 6 million views and took off. He got a Netflix special, start selling out improvs everywhere. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
we worked together in Oakland, I believe it was.
No, what was that city called? Fresno? Something like
in
that?
Fresno, yeah. And super cool guy.
Yeah, like not even know like, oh, he's trash, he don't deserve that. No, it's just that if something like that happens, like let's go back to what you said. If I see somebody getting paid this money, I'm not like, oh, that's fucked up. It's like, oh, I know it's there. When I see something like that, I'm like, well, if it happened to him, it happened to you, it happened to me, it's possible. So now, let's go. So you never know that.
Here's where I think that there is a similarity though. Okay, so
similarity with what?
with the Ralph Barbosa thing and him getting like whatever he's getting now,
Yeah.
I think there is a common denominator there. So when I was in Texas during the pandemic, I went to Dallas, Texas to do a spot because I was like, I gotta go get on stages. I went to Texas. Me and my brother went down to Dallas, and I did like a midnight spot. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought I killed that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was rowdy as shit. It was the gangsters in there talking shit, interrupting everybody's sets, putting the staff back out. And I was like, I ain't about to these niggas ain't about to shut me up. So like I went out there crazy, right? And my brother was there, and I was like, well, luckily he was there. And he had the gun on him, so I felt comfortable. So like, niggas ain't gonna try. Like, somebody get shot, it'll be me, nigga. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have fun. I thought I did hella way. I got on stage, told my brother, like, yeah, nigga, I just killed that shit. And we was about to leave. I said, you know, I'll hang around one more set. All I heard is, everybody. I'm like, who fuck? I look in, it's that nigga. I'm like, who's this little young dude?
And this is way before that.
This is 2020, like middle of the pandemic. He is smashing. I'm like, who's this 19-year-old looking? So I got on stage. I go, hey, bro, what's your name? He's like, Ralph. I'm like, man, you need to move to LA. That shit was good, bro. I'm sure I'll see you down the line, one way or the other. And so I forgot about that shit. When I seen the shit, I was like, I told my brother, nigga, that's the nigga from. And my brother was like, oh, yeah, that was funny. So what I say, I'm only saying it because I imagine he was killing in Texas. And everybody in Texas knew, like, hey, that nigga nice, bro. He gonna get out of here one day.
Yeah.
So I'm only paralleling that to we out here, and this is something I want you to actually answer to about. We know, the LA comedy scene for sure knows that if you go see Tony live, he'll be like, he gonna fuck this lineup up. Like, whoever went up, he about to do better than y'all.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he about to make a hole.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, no offense to LA comics, but like, if you know that either he before or after, you gonna be like, hey, man, I gotta either be funny as fuck because Tony after me, or he went up and now you next, you gonna be like, man, well, at least he got everybody laughing. So, like,
at least ride that wave.
This respect is there from comedians. And so we know that if something does crazy happen for Tony right now, you'd be like, well, that makes sense that he be out here killing.
Yeah.
Right?
So you saying for him, you knew that.
I knew that, and I ain't trying to take no credit. I saw him kill firsthand before I knew about any of the success he's about to have. I just saw a nigga in Dallas, Texas at midnight smashing from like 30, 45 people. And I was like, he killing at midnight, nigga. You got a shot, and you young as shit. So I was like, keep that shit up. And it was a year and a half later, I was like, oh, okay. So we know Tone like does work. So I'm thinking to myself, the question I guess is like, all right, comics, where do you feel like in terms of respect level, do you feel like you have it, you feel like you get it from obviously your peers, and then when something crazy does happen, you attribute it to the work you currently do or just your body of work?
Good question again. I feel like my peers, I get respect to my peers. I feel like my peers, my contemporaries especially.
Yeah.
The guys that I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
I think I definitely get the respect from them. I truly believe they respect the work that I'm putting in. A little bit of hate based on the last name and, you know, the lineage and all that, but not as much as there was before because now people can't deny it. It's like you walk in a comedy club any given night, I'm in there.
Yeah.
You could say all of the shit you want to say, like with your friends, like, yeah, this nigga, but every time you walk in the club, he's there. So at some point, even at some point, I'm going to change your mind. If you haven't given me the respect yet, at some point, you're going to change your mind because you're going to realize, damn, I come in the club and every time I come in here, he's here. Whether he's on the lineup or not, he's sitting upstairs in the room watching the show. Like Chris Spencer said, we had Chris Spencer on my podcast.
Yes,
Chris Spencer said, yo, you one of the only cats I know that really loves comedy. Like you upstairs with popcorn, like watching the whole show, not even on it. That's how I started. I'm still like that to this day. So to answer your question, yes, my peers, I do feel like I get the respect I deserve from my peers, or I worked for.
Right.
Deserve is a weird word. And when it does happen for me, I think it's based on both the body of work,
right,
that people will reflect back on, like, man, he was good in that, and how come we didn't catch on then? And the special's out now, damn, how come we didn't catch on then? And then something will happen, and it'll be based on the work I'm currently doing.
Okay.
That'll bring light to all of my body of work.
If it happens to be, it could be a joke or it could be a crowd work bit. I want to make sure that on the record, live shows, crowd work.
You're the one filming.
I'm the one filming. We the one watching. We see this shit. Last time we see it in the clubs on the road. For the record, I tour with Tone, so I see this shit a lot more than everybody else. But I see it also when you're in LA. I would say, I mean, you can probably name your top 3 crowd work comics. Tony got to be in that list. So if you ever see a clip and it goes viral, after today, y'all see a clip and there's a crazy views and something Tony did with a crowd member, that shit's been going on for a long time. And if it finally gets exposed, everybody gets to see, go, oh shit, it's like that live when we come to the show. It is like that live, and you're gonna be like, don't be surprised.
But here's the difference.
Don't be surprised.
We've had some good ones.
That's part of it.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna give you flowers because when I came out here, I came from Pittsburgh, so it was like my perspective of comedy was way different than when I got out here. Cause I was killing back home. Like I thought I'm gonna come to LA and be right on. I got out here and was like, oh, these niggas is windmilling from the foul line, son. Like I'm in the layup line and shit. You working on my left. These niggas is cooking. You see, it's different, right? So it's like you learn so much. You know, one thing I learned.
Wait, sorry, I gotta continue. Who did you see that was like, yo, it's different out here?
A bunch of like. I didn't see you perform until right around the time that I met you.
Okay.
Because remember, the world was shut down.
Right.
So when I first came out in 2020, it was only like 2.5, 3 months before COVID hit. And so I was going to the Laugh Factory. I was seeing people that I didn't even know.
You was going to Chocolate Sundays.
Yeah, Chocolate Sundays. Not even a regular night, just that. That's the only thing I knew about. And then the rest of the week, I was doing mics. So I wasn't really seeing anybody.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I'm heating up. Then I'll go to Chocolate Sundays. And it be, like you see right now, I'm not saying no-name comedians, but they're not household names.
Right.
And these niggas was like, I'm like, I didn't know this motherfucker. He like a nigga like CP. Everybody's holding his stomach. You be like, damn, bro, like I got work to do. So I seen that this is different. The one thing I'll never forget that I learned mainly from you is you watch somebody and they're doing like, people do crowd work now just for like the clips to go viral. If people watch you, they'll be like, oh shit, he's doing, your crowd work is on the spot, but you're tying it into the material. So to somebody who doesn't know comedy, they're like, this nigga's quick-witted, but you already know if I get this, I'm gonna lean this right in. You know what I mean? Like you're tied in it. It looks so seamless.
Right.
That was the thing that I saw and was like, he just thought about that. Then the more I hung around you, the more I watched everyone. I'm like, oh no, they kind of have like a template. And then when someone gives them something, they're like, oh, I've been doing this long enough to know that I'm gonna segue right into this. Right. And it just seems like he just thought of it right there. You're like,
and if you have a lot of material, you can tie anything in the crowd to any bit.
So when y'all watch Tone and he's doing, you're like, yo, the show we did in Pittsburgh. Yeah. This is when I learned I had a lot more to learn. I get on stage, I'm hosting, I'm doing my time. There's a dude right in the front. I see the nigga, and I don't say nothing. But he had like a burnt orange like beard.
Yo, he had black. Your complexion
black as fuck
with the dyed beard.
The burnt orange, and I seen it. And I was like, just let it go. Like, didn't say nothing. Had a whole bunch. Then I found out I used to work with this nigga. Like, we used to work together with these kids. Something was like, when I got off stage, he was like, yo, you funny as hell. I didn't know you was this funny. I was like, what? He was like, yo, I'm so-and-so. I was like, oh, shit, I ain't recognize you with the beard, whatever. He gets on stage like, this nigga got a pumpkin. He said some shit like a pumpkin. Bro, he started cooking this thing. And I'm like, immediately. I had this shit in my palm of my hand. It just wasn't being present. Was like, no.
That is.
As soon as he got on stage, he was like,
the
nigga.
Dude is crying.
Like, I was like, yo, I just fucking let this go. Like, but he just watching it, I was like, I seen it. The thoughts were in my head, like, get on this nigga. What is he, he's black as fuck with his beard tone. Just
that's the progression, bro. Like, we all see it as comedians. We know what the funny things are. Will you jump out of your set? Will you jump out of your own bit to risk the set, risk the laugh, and go, I'm gonna win this battle? Like, that is a comedian's battle with everything.
When he seen it, I was like, and it was funny because I knew the dude. I'm like, it would have even been better because he don't know that I don't know him on stage. Like, I didn't recognize him. But when, after he'd be like, yo, dog, I can't believe you did that. Right. He would have thought I knew this the whole time. It was just a blown opportunity, but I seen him, like, not passing up. And then that girl that had the little hat on her head, it was, I seen all this shit.
Pittsburgh got a funny crowd.
I seen all that shit. And it was just like,
he had a hat on like this big.
It's sort of all, it was like a Christmas hat. It was, this was like the week before Christmas. Yes. It was the 18th, 19th, and 20th of December. She had like a little Christmas hat, like with the string that go under your, like a birthday hat, but it was like a Christmas tree or something. It looked stupid as fuck. She was big too, and the hat was like a shot glass. Like, it was little as fuck. And he was like, what the fuck is, everything that he was pointing out, I'm like, I seen that. I didn't say nothing. I just stuck in my minutes and was like, so I say that to say, like,
you gotta just be free up there. You gotta have material, of course. Yes, you gotta write. Of course, I say write every day, but sometimes you just gotta be up there in the moment, in the free flow of it, and be present. Yeah, and you see something that's like, okay, that deserves some attention.
Yeah, fat. And I was like, but I learned that like watching, and that's why people say you can't cut the corners because you can't just be good on social media, got 1 million followers, start booking theaters and know how to do that.
Right.
Because that's not something you learn by doing skits on social media.
The reps take care of that, and then the confidence he has to get back to whatever joke he wants to get back to allows you also to deviate.
Yep.
He can say, "I know my business like the back of my hand. This is it's like a 10 Commandments list called like from Bill Hicks. I don't even know him personally, right? I don't know who that comic is, but he made a list. Like the first rule is,
You don't know who Bill Hicks is?
I don't know a bit or nothing from.
Oh my
but
God!
I saved his
You
list of
better
his
go
commandments.
watch some Bill Hicks tonight.
I
Bill
got
Hicks
to
is
because
great.
I give him too
Rest
much
in peace.
credit. The first thing he says, go out there and be funny. Once you out of that, then get to your material. And I was like, that's a crazy suggestion. And some nights I would try it, and I was like, oh shit, it worked. Like I said something funny real quick, got the laugh, and I was like, well shit, now I might as well get to a joke because I ain't got nothing else. But like, just being in the room is what I thought he meant by that. It's like, be in the room.
Yeah.
You've been watching people walking in and sit down. You got nothing funny to say yet? I'd be like, I actually do got something funny to do right here. I'm looking at it. I should just, and I go up there and do it. And I'm like, oh, that shit worked. Wow, because I was present, and then your material is just gonna take care of itself after that because you know that shit funny. But the idea that you could do that from doing jokes, pop out of that, and then like he do go, hey you, blah blah blah, laughing. So anyway, that reminds me of my other.
The show becomes better because now they feel a part of it. They feel involved.
That's the
first comment.
You're building that connection with them.
If there's a secret to it, that's it right there. When you do that with somebody in the room, before that they were just at the show. They were seated in the audience to see a show.
Yeah.
You have an interaction with somebody. They're like,
In
holy
the show.
shit, I'm in the show.
Yeah.
And the person next to them is like, yo, you in the show. And people at the next table like, yo, oh shit, we in the show. And that takes it up to a whole nother level.
And if you give him a name like the dude with the pumpkin beard,
Yeah.
when everybody leaving, oh, pumpkin beard.
Yeah.
Now he's like, oh yeah, I was a nigga who was someone.
Yes. Everybody walking out like, yo, my man, yo, like he's famous now.
Yeah,
Almost.
like-
It's almost
Oh, yeah,
it's almost like that nigga was on TV.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you was the nigga you said.
Fam, we've had shows where people have asked to take pictures of the person this nigga was making fun of at the show. They be out there in the show like, come here, 1 hour, and like they taking pictures with that dude and told right there too, like, you don't want pictures, like he made fun of you so bad, we gotta get a picture with your ass. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Nigga's a star.
So I got a question. In one of the episodes me and Grammy did, the one where you said that Lil Rel was more famous than Angela Bassett. Remember that one?
What the fuck?
I recall the debate we had.
Did you say
It was
that?
a brief debate. I said Lil Rel was bigger than her at the time.
What time?
The time we was talking about
right
it.
now.
At the time, I was like, oh, well, he's bigger than her now. Because I was saying the recency of, I can't really bring this back up. The point was that I was saying that
I'm leading into something, but I had to.
The gigs at the current time was like, oh, he's active as shit. And I know Angela Bassett's in 911 right now.
Yeah, like the
Not
highest
comparing,
paid female on
I ain't
TV.
playing. I'm just saying, like,
Wow.
That's the
But anyways, in that
gig wise.
here's how that came up, right? We was talking about, I asked Chelsea who would she fan out for if she seen like in the airport or whatever. She said Angela Bassett. So he was like, no,
I met Angela Bassett one time. I swear it was like meeting royalty. She was so classy. It felt like I was meeting someone from a royal family.
Everyone that said they met her said the same thing. So shout out to you, Angela. You're a queen.
I meant nothing by it.
We brought that up, whatever. We were saying like he was like, people would see Lil Rel out and be like going crazy, and I was like, I don't like they probably see him, but I don't think they're going crazy. He was like, tone is tone. He's like in LA, he's still tone. He's like, but this is LA, so it's like we see you, but we see The Rock. We see, you know what I mean?
Right.
So he's like, but when you go to these other like fucking places, Orlando or something, he's like, we'll be walking to the club and they're like, oh, like going crazy. He was like, because in other places they don't see anybody. So when they see you, it's going crazy. So I started thinking about this, like, what do you think is more of a worry for you is if you get off the airplane or you out somewhere, let's say you in Miami, y'all partying, TMZ come up to you with a camera, or one of them niggas with a little small microphone and a fucking camera that be doing like them street interviews and shit. So I'm gonna tell you right now.
What's more worrisome? Why would what are we worried about?
I ain't never seen one of them niggas with the little holding the phone out like this with a camera. That shit, it ruining relationships. The questions they ask. They'll put, yeah, so you know, you here with this girl, you like, oh nigga, what the fuck? I got a bitch. That's what I'm saying. So the nigga approaching you with the camera out, like asking you putting you on some.
Yeah, that would be problematic. TMZ catches me at LAX all the time. Like it's a cat that works for TMZ.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but I see that every time I land, get my bag, I'm coming out. He'll be like, yo, Because I never remember back in the day people used to run from them.
Yeah.
Or drive off and cover their head.
Yeah.
And I would always be like, yo, I don't understand why people do that.
The first time I seen you on there was when they was asking about the Lavelle situation.
Yeah.
In LAX.
Yeah. So same thing. So homie saw me Monday. I landed Monday and he was like, yo, you heard about what happened with your brother in Australia? And I'm like, nah, it was good. He's like, can we go? I said, yeah, let's go. He always asks me, can he ask a question about?
Oh, that's where he was at when
so
that
he'll
shit
prompt
happened?
me. So he said he was in Australia performing, but the thing was he was performing at somebody's like birthday party.
Birthday party, billionaire or some shit.
Yeah, billionaire's birthday party. And one of the people there was recording him. And he was like, yo, tried to tell him to stop and they wouldn't. So he walked up stage. And I had no idea about this at all until he told me. And I'm like, yeah, the guy was probably a dick and he felt entitled because he's the friend of the billionaire. So he's like, shit, I can record you. Thinking like, oh, it's just some nigga we got to perform here.
Yeah.
So we can record him, not knowing this is the best comic working today. Like, yo, don't record me. I said, well, I hope that guy's, I said, it's like if the chef would have presented some food for them to eat before it was ready.
Yeah.
He would be like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with this? That's how we as comics look at it. Like, yo, let me get the food right first so I can serve it properly. Don't record it while I'm prepping it,
I seen you do that. You remember we was at the Ha together and it was like a workout Tuesday or some shit. And you was like, yo, my man, I just told you to put the phone away.
Yeah.
I'm done. It was like, man, Tone's being a dick. He just walked off stage. Like, middle would have said, he's like, nah, bro, like I'm working on some shit. Y'all got to like.
It was I think it was called Workout Wednesday.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo,
Wednesday, whatever was
I had
out
the pad, like, yo, okay, ready? This is the first one. And homie pulls his phone out, like, yo, fam, I just said this is like.
And he told him like twice, and the dude just was like, yeah, cool.
Wow.
Like not even like on a like one of these. It wasn't.
Yeah.
He was like, so I was like, yo, bro. He was like, oh yeah, cool.
But that would be problematic to answer your question if I was in Miami and the dude with the one mic.
I'm telling you right now,
and I was in a situation.
You see a nigga walk up with that little microphone or the phone out like this with so let me ask you, nah, get the fuck out of here, nigga. That shit is not going well. I'm telling you right now, I see them shits, they go south
My most problematic problem I would want to have in Miami is if I'm at the show and like 4 different niggas come up and say to me, hey, you know what's the name here? Hey, you know what's the name here? You know what? I got 5 bitches in a room. That would be my most problem. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do when I get off stage? They all here for me. Have you ever had that happen?
Listen, man.
Like, I don't know if I was panning the room, this nigga do crowd work, he like, oh shit, this bitch here. Oh shit, this bitch.
I've had to have.
Oh, you saying
that was my
bitches
problem.
you hit?
Your girls, your fans, or people that say I'm coming to see you, or maybe they're from a different city, but like, I live in Atlanta, but if Miami's a quick flight, and now you look at the crowd and it's like, this bitch is here. Nigga,
5.
That
Some
would be
Bill Bellamy how to be a player.
Yeah, for the record, that was my dream job to have when I was like 20. I was like, I want to remake that movie. I would love to remake that movie. But
what movie?
How to be a player.
Just to be a comic, I have to deal with all that shit. But
I've had some things happen in the room, and I had to have the features like, yo, you got to hold me down. You got to work with me. We got to work as a collective here to make this not as problematic as it could be. I've had a lot of shit like that happen.
I be seeing them, like I seen one the other day, and dude was like with his girl, how long y'all been together or whatever. And when as soon as like if you with your girl, just tell that nigga get it out your face. Like if you by yourself maybe. But he was asking the dude questions. He was like, nah, I love my girl. I'll never cheat on her. So what do you have a celebrity crush? He was like, nah, like this is my girl. Now I'm pretty sure he's saying that because she's there.
Right, of course.
But at least he respects the relationship enough to be like, nah, I don't got no female. I got my woman. He's like, what about you? She was like, oh, I'd suck Drake's dick if I had a chance. Like this is filming and shit. Like right in front of her man. He's like, Like you just see the pain. I'm like, bro.
That's a wild choice.
If I'm telling you right now, if something like that happens and I'm getting violated, maybe not that, I'll probably just walk away. But if it's some crazy shit, you gotta fuck the cameraman up. Get the footage. Don't let that shit get out. Like this shit happened, but just don't let it get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that.
But you know what? That's really not gonna solve anything because she already said it. So even if you got the footage,
but you leave her
in here forever.
It's in the void.
You gotta leave her
in this cloud forever.
You leave her no matter what.
Yeah,
but at least you ain't on World Star or one of them.
You smash the camera up. Now you home at night like it's right here,
bro. That shit.
And then you see Drake on TV, and now you see the visual like,
he wiggling. That's him fucking your bitch right there. That little hand.
Drake said something one time. Speaking of it, he said something on Twitter, and some dude was like, "Ain't no Canadian nigga." Some shit said something slick to Drake. He was just like, "Yo, I just followed your girl." Like that's all he said. He replied back to do like, "I just followed your girl."
Wow.
Then like a couple days later, he was like, "Follow up." Show the messenger. She's like, yeah, I'll meet up with you. Like, he was definitely not gonna meet up with her, but he was like, I can have you a bitch, like, and posted it. Dude was like, wow, yo, he followed my girl. Like, that's kind of groupie shit. Like, you know, niggas that say foul shit to you just to get your attention.
But see, that's the thing. These cats that be trying to, get you to engage on social media. Corny, they cornballs, they suckers, they cowards. But ultimately, they just want to have an interaction with you.
Yeah, fact.
It's like niggas will be like, yo, you ain't fun. I get, I'll post, I post a special. Yo, special's up. Nigga, that shit probably trash, man. You suck. I know you want me to respond so you can later on go, yo, man, I was just fucking with you, bro. I'm a big fan. But that's not how you do it, bro. Because
niggas will screenshot you like, yo, ask your bitch. Oh, shit, he replied to me.
Yeah.
Like, yo, how low is your self-esteem that even a negative interaction is positive for you?
Yeah, yeah. That's weird to me. You know what else is weird to me? Like related, but not as closely related. It's always been weird to me that people will go on vacation, fly to Los Angeles, California, and walk down Hollywood Boulevard to take pictures of names on the street. It's just the person's not standing next to their star. It's just a name.
I hate being a tour guide for that.
It's like, yo, y'all really took 2 weeks off from Kentucky to fly out here and take pictures and lay down on the sidewalk and like, look whose name is
That's
here.
for sure Google Images. You could have did that from Kentucky.
Yeah, like, I don't get it. But that's the mentality. That's the same mentality that has, I'm going to try to be disrespectful to get your attention. It's somewhere in the same, it lives in the same space. You know what I mean?
It's in the studio a lot or something.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So what if you, all right, fuck the TMZ shit, all that. What if you out with your boys, whatever, maybe your son, and one of them YouTube niggas try to pull a prank on you? Like where they like blow in your ear, touch your face or some, just some, not nothing crazy, but enough for you to be like, well, you don't even know it's a prank. Like you just think it's how you reacted. Because
with my child, there's no playing. There's no pranking me. It will go so left for whoever. Not my baby. No.
Yo,
my boys, they might laugh and make me laugh like, okay, that was wild. Like they'll be the comic, I'm the comic relief. They'll be like, okay, they kind of calmed it down. But my baby, not my kid.
This is the most aggressive rich nigga I ever met in my
life.
Not my kid, man. Not my kid.
Usually, like when niggas really get some money, they be like away from the confrontation. Nah, not him. Like not saying he's looking for it, but there's like the switch.
Oh, him?
Oh, yeah.
No, this nigga is close to...
Come on, man.
Bro.
This nigga is most close to a lit fuse person I've seen.
But it's like I've seen niggas that are broke.
The fuse can be lit. And he lit the fuse.
Well, you know when a broke nigga's broke, you know why they're ready to... At all times, they're ready to fuck something because they're struggling in life.
Oh, you mean like niggas that got something to lose don't act like that?
No, yeah.
This nigga be like, take it, nigga. I'm gonna fuck that one.
Nigga, you think I'm gonna pay a lawsuit?
We got things to lose. Hey, fuck them things to lose.
I told a story before. We was in the Laugh Factory, Rubes on stage. I didn't even know.
That dude was being a dick. I remember that.
I didn't even know Tone was there. Because when he came, like, he's there way before the show start. But he was on that show that night. Usually, him, he's always early.
Yeah.
We didn't even know he was here yet because he came in, like he had a set somewhere else, so he was coming in late.
Yeah.
So Rico's on one side of the balcony. I'm on the other. A couple other people, Rubes on stage. He's saying something to this dude. Dude was from a different country, I think. He lived here, but he wasn't from America. He's saying something. He told Rube like, yeah, just move it the fuck along. Some shit. He started going back and forth with Rube. Rube was like, nah, whatever. Like, I was here telling.
He said something like Rube was like he said something like, yeah, you ain't gonna move me or something like that. You ain't gonna move me. And Rube was like, all right, man, yo, we ain't doing that here right now. And that, Rube, bro,
it's quiet, like not quiet, but it's like them two are talking there. Hey, what? I look over the balcony, this nigga come from like where the bathroom is at. What's going on? He said, no, I'm telling you, he good. He's like, nah, I'm just saying, because then you just see all the rest of us start to make our way downstairs. Like, it's happening. I'm like,
it's happening.
It's like 20 niggas in there talking could have been like, yo. He's like, no, I got it. I'm like, nigga, they don't get that checkbook right out of you.
You just hear a what from the balcony like it's a WWF match?
No, I'm gonna come down the stage.
Coming up.
Niggas are repelling and shit. Like,
Rube arguing back and forth. You hear, if you smell, I come running in the room.
Running down
the music come down and shit.
Tony like the top row.
He's coming down like
Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit. Bro,
oh, that's goofy. I missed that night.
I done heard so many stories.
That's all in the past, man. I got a kid now. I just got to get home to the baby.
I said, this nigga, dog.
I got to get home to the baby.
So what you got coming up besides your touring and anything special?
You know what? That's a good question. So me and Doughboy wrote a pilot, and we on this our second pass. It's an idea he came up with. So I'm at the studio, and Doughboy was like, "Hey, let's take a meeting."
The comedian,
Doughboy, yeah. Because so backstory: when he was at All Def, when I was at All Def, when Russell was there, He was behind the scenes, you know, doing a lot of writing for the stuff skits and stuff they would shoot.
Yeah.
I was hosting the show on Wednesdays, and Russell was always like, you know, we got to come up with something for Tony, like a vehicle for Tony. So me and Doughboy were supposed to work together years ago.
Yeah.
So he asked to take a meeting. I took the meeting with him. He told me the idea. He had the pilot written, read it, gave him some notes, rewrote it, you know, resubmitted it. All right, just punch some stuff up. We haven't even done like the comedic punch up yet.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get the parameters together. But I really think we got a good idea. I think we got something that could be potentially be something special. So that's one thing we're working on. Also, I have a series that I wrote. Say 15 years ago, I wrote a movie based on a movie. I was literally in the house watching the movie, like, yo, this would be so dope if it was this way. So that week, I wrote the movie over, let a few people read it, got notes, rewrote it again. I rewrote this movie like maybe 6-7 times. During the pandemic, I revisited everything that I had that was just sitting that I hadn't gotten any traction on. Took it again, rewrote it, made it episodic, 7 episodes. It is the best it has ever been. Let management read it. They loved it. Let my old management read it. They loved it. I let a few comic friends read it. Yo, son, what are we doing with this? So I'm going to revisit that in the new year. I got the project with Doughboy. I'm going to shoot another special. I'm going to say March. I'm going to shoot again. I'm fund it myself again. Because now that I know I can do it that way, I would prefer to do it that way until the 50 million comes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to make them give me the 50 million, because they're going to go, he's doing his own specials. He's funding them himself. He's getting all the money.
They want that.
Let's cut him in. Let's bring him in because we want a cut of that, So yeah, new special. I'm going to do that again. I hope to do more than one in 25. I want to do one with the team. Like I call it the Rock the Mic Tour.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is, the secret is I'm going to shoot it. I'll shoot a weekend on the road, host, feature, headliner. But then I'll cut it to make it look like I was the host and brought them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll intro them. Like after, let's say we shoot the show, then I'll say, hey guys, stick around. Let me just intro my friends. Intro, applause, then cut their,
edit.
But my set will be, so I don't take away from the club. The club can't be like, hey, nigga, you did 15 minutes. You the headliner. So I'll rearrange it through the magic of editing.
Yeah.
And use their venue and their sound system and their lights and bring people in.
For the cheap.
Get it for the cheap. So I want to do that again. I want to do that this year as well. What else? There's something else. The podcast is doing really well. Live from the Green Room. Make sure you guys like, subscribe.
Live from the Green Room.
I'll
put all the links in the description when I post this.
What else? Is something else I'm missing? What am I missing? It'll come to me. But yeah, tour dates. I'm already booked. I looked at my schedule today. January's full, February's full, March is full, April's full already.
That's
already. So just trying to work, man. Trying to just hit that thing. When you said like that thing, make that thing happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be here. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm just waiting for that thing.
It don't matter. It's
I'm
like,
waiting
what
for
else you
these
gonna be doing?
two things to just connect, and is we out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Like you did you ever see the I forget what it was called. It was the movie Jay-Z did for the Black album. Was it?
Wait. The Rock the Mic tour?
No, that was way before that. This was was it Fade to Black?
Fade to Black.
Fade to
yeah.
Black.
Oh, for the Black album, yeah. Fade to Black. Yeah.
On there, he was like, some people say I'm lucky. I think luck is like opportunity and preparation. Meeting, I always thought that people like, yo, you lucky. It's like, nah, you didn't see all the fucking shit I went through
luck?
Get to this. You know what I mean? Luck is I don't have no talent. I pick up a winning lottery ticket off the ground. That's luck.
Yeah.
If you're doing anything that requires repetition, effort, talent, anything, that's not luck.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you for saying that, because when I first started going on the road with Tone, people with comics be like, "Oh, you so lucky." Like, fuck you mean I got lucky? Like I used to as a comic, you try to blow it off like, oh, hey, I mean, I just ran to him, blah, blah. But then I heard some comic one time go, man, I wish I'd have met him that day too. And I was like, nigga, what would that have done? Like, you think just meeting niggas?
They was just like, the first thing I see today is going on the road.
Was walking out like, all right, nigga, black, wherever I'm looking at.
Good news, buddy.
I was like, nigga, what the fuck? So,
I like your shirt. What you doing for the next 4 months?
Boss for the dog. I'm gonna get back to the feature thing. But so one day, this was a couple years ago, I was And me and you had talked about it because when I first met you, you was like, yo, what you doing tomorrow? I was like, I'm just coming here. This is the only thing I do is come to the comedy club every day. He was like, you only know one other comedian who does that. I was like, oh, who's that? He was like, nigga, me. And I started laughing like, oh, okay. So I was at the comedy clubs every day, but I wasn't going up. Like I was just there hoping to go up. Just kept saying that, kept saying that, kept saying that. And one day, I don't know, I was listening to Kevin Hart's podcast, The Comedy Goldmines, and he had David Spade on there. Now, I never really seen David Spade do comedy. I seen him in movies or whatever. But I was just listening to all of them, and he was telling his story about how he got into comedy. And it made me say to myself, like, oh, I got to stop crying about, like, how rough, so-called, I got it trying to get into this game because I only got this many years in it. And this nigga's story is way, like, the shit I was hearing him say, I was like, I would have been quit. Like, well, maybe not, but you think, like, damn, that's fucked up. He was saying all these stuff. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. He went through all that shit. He finally made it. Boom, boom, this happened. Cool. And I'm like, all right, let me just keep doing what I'm doing, go to the comedy club. So I go to the Laugh Factory. It was a Thursday. I get there and I was complaining about not getting on stage enough and just the journey or whatever. There's 2 shows. There's the regular Thursday show, like the 7:30 or whatever. Then there's Tehran's show at 10 o'clock. I usually go for just Tehran's, but I came there like in the middle of the first show, just in case. When I walk in, I see David Spade. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, I don't even do this, but I'm going to tell you the story. And he's like, oh, that podcast is out. We've been filmed that. Like, it came out today. Told him that he was like, man, just keep getting on stage. It'll work. I'm like, man, appreciate it. I'm like, this is a sign, right?
Yep.
I'm sitting there. Tehran's show goes on. You were supposed to close the show out. And you're always there on time. I don't see Tone nowhere. I'm like, man, the comedians is running, like, they're running through him. He ain't even fucking here yet. Maybe he got it set somewhere else. So as I'm getting up to leave, because I'm like, well, he's the next comedian and he ain't here, so I'm out. The manager, she's not there no more, a girl named Mercy, she was like, was like, you talk to Tone? I was like, I just called him, he didn't answer. He was like, fuck, you want to close this show out? Because we don't got another comedian. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, we need one more. I'm like, hell yeah. All that happened the same day. I was like, I'm not getting on stage enough. I'm crying on I run into this nigga that I just watched. All that, I was just like, this isn't luck. This is me being there like I said I was going to be instead of, because guess what? If I'd have been like, I ain't going up there, man. I ain't going to get on stage.
Right.
I wouldn't have got on stage. I wouldn't have seen him, and I'd have been complaining more. You know what I mean? So it's like, ain't no such thing as luck. It's just doing it and doing it. But going back to the feature thing, when you said, like, people be like, oh, I wish I would have seen him that day. We talked about this, like, I think like 2 episodes ago. I said, every headliner has a different, like, if I was a headliner, I probably would just have one guy, just me and him. But I said, I don't know any other comedian, not saying there isn't. I don't personally know any other comedian who's put more people on the road than you. I started naming them off.
Yeah,
like, damn, I
like
forgot.
the Bill Belichick coaching tree.
So,
it's a lot of
so do you
that
feel like it's better for you to have a variation of people, or do you feel like you're just giving opportunities to more comedians so they get an opportunity to do it?
Okay, first I want to address the thing you said about the David Spade thing.
Okay.
See, all the negativity, and this is for everybody. Everybody checking this out, comics or not, or not. The negativity has to be fuel for why you love it so much.
Yeah.
So, I start out in New York City. I'm Chris Rock's brother. All the New York comics, the black comics in particular, not all of them, I'm lying. A lot of them didn't fuck with me, didn't like me, didn't want to talk to me because they felt, the Chris Rock brother, he gonna get passed along. He gonna get, ushered through.
Really, it's probably harder.
Exactly. Not
because
problem.
it's a constant. It's you going in there. It's like you walking in with him to every club.
I tell Grimy all the time, I'm following my brother every time I touch a microphone, whether he's in the state, the country that I'm in or not. When I touch a microphone, that's Chris Rock's brother. I'm following him every time I touch a mic. But the black comics, a lot of them didn't fuck with me, didn't talk to me. Was like, yo, we won't put him on the show. No love from a lot of them. I still got receipts. But that made me love it more because it's like, okay, I don't have the luxury of fraternizing with these guys.
Yeah, there's no camaraderie
so
like everybody else.
It's just me and comedy.
Get to work.
You know what I mean? I came to LA. I knew one person. My manager's friend put me up at his house. I didn't have a car. If you know the Los Angeles area, he had a house on Pico and Stanley. I used to walk from Pico and Stanley to the Laugh Factory.
It's 3.1 miles. I looked it up before when you first told me.
Every
Each
day.
way.
Every day, Monday through Sunday, 3.1 miles there and back. Because I didn't have a car. I didn't have any friends here. So that was the reason the difficulty made me love it more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get to the factory. I would sit through. That's when they used to do an 8 o'clock show, 10 o'clock show, 12 o'clock show. I would sit through every show. whether I was on the show or not. If I was on the 10, I would perform and still sit through the 12 because all I had to do was walk back. All I had going on for me was the walk back.
You're gonna be at the house bored as shit. It wasn't no internet back then. Like, no social media back then.
He had a guest house with a reclining chair about the size of this, and a few blankets. So I would just recline the chair back and go to sleep. I didn't even have a bed. But he homie put me up. I didn't have to pay rent. I'm like, I bet I could walk to the factory. It's not a big deal. The walking there by myself in my head, walking there and back, made me love it more. The difficulty has to make you love it more.
I'm gonna tell you a quote.
If you don't love it more because of the difficulty, that's when you quit. When you go, all these things against it, I'm gonna quit. It gotta make you. It has to change your mindset. Like, I'm gonna fight through all of this shit because I love it. So when things started happening to me for me in LA, it was like, yo, I really appreciate this journey because I had to do all of this for this thing I love.
And before, just hold that, because I seen something today. It's so crazy how this shit works. I was listening to a podcast today, and the dude's name, I think his name is Andrew Hermosi or whatever. He's like a fitness dude, but a couple $100 million, whatever.
Right.
And he said on the podcast, he said, pain will give you far better results ever than luxury will. So if you're doing something because it pays you good money, right, it's cool. But if something hurts you enough, that alters you. And the example the dude gave says, if you didn't have a car or a license and you had to walk to work every day, but it only take you 20 minutes to, you might deal with that for a while. Like, only 20 minutes. But if you had to walk and it's 3 miles or 5 miles every day, you're like, I fucking have to get that license. It would take you a month to get it instead of a year because you're like, this shit is unbearable. I can't do it no more. That's pain pushing you forward. So if you, like you said, you got to walk 3 miles, you're like, I can't afford to be taking days off because every day I don't go is basically taking chips out of the account that I could be stacking towards.
Every day I don't go is another day that I'm going to be walking.
Then I'm behind my goal.
Mm-hmm.
The frustrations can blind you, but it also will make you stay in it. Like, if you were going to give up, you were going to give up. But if you're frustrated but still persevering, the things are happening right under your nose. I literally just told him like a week ago, I was like, damn, when I was chasing these spots, trying to get on at the Laugh Factory and like doing all those contests and winning, I was so focused on thinking like, oh my God, this isn't happening even though I'm winning. But I look back and go, damn, I got a comedy festival out of that. And I started touring with him after that.
Yeah,
although I didn't get what I thought I was chasing at the time.
You got something actually better.
Right. And
way
I was like,
fucking better.
Because I got to go to every city in the country and be like, oh, 300 plus people just laughed. Whereas I'm chasing a comedy club that you get maybe 1 or 2 spots a week, and then you get to go, ooh, we made some LA people laugh. Like, that's those, they touring. They're going to go back to the homes that you can't get to. But now you can say, I made people laugh in Kansas, Texas, Ohio. Like, you can, like, your jokes work all across the country versus saying, I was in one spot making everybody laugh and they came to me. That's not realistic to your comedy journey. Your comedy journey is the road. It is everywhere else in America.
Yeah, but that's what, so the pain will give you better results because it's like, or it'll break you. You'll just quit. Yeah. But if it's in you, like you said, if you love it, like
which is supposed to do. It's supposed to do one or the other.
But it's like, think about this, right? Like, if we love this shit, right? It's like, if you're doing it, like, we'll use your perfect example. You've been doing this for, what, 25 years, something like that?
25, yeah.
So you could have been like, man, this shit ain't happening. What the fuck are you going to do? Quit and go get a regular job? So it's like, yo, either you're going to do this and not do this, even though you might not get what you want. Like, what the fuck?
Where the fuck you been for 25 years?
Yeah, right? Can you explain the gap?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like people like, I just want to give up and do what? Something you hate?
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you talking?
The Jim Carrey story.
I just don't.
You know that?
I don't.
Jim Carrey said his father should have been him.
Oh, yeah, but he quit. He gave up.
His father was the funniest person. He said his father was the funniest human being he ever met in his life. But he was afraid to take the opportunity, take a chance on being Jim Carrey, so to speak. You know what I mean? So he ended up getting a regular job because he had a wife and kids to take care of. He said, I watched my father get up every morning, go to work to a job he hated, and then they let him go.
Yeah, after all,
and he says, so you can fail at something you don't love.
Yeah.
So you might as well fail at the thing you love.
Facts.
So yeah, it's you got all of the things that are deterrents have to make you love it more.
So I'll say this before we get into the feature thing, right?
I want to answer that.
So every once in a while, personally for me, probably not so much for you now because the opportunity you got, but for me, there'll be days where I'll be like, this shit just not going the way I want. And then every once in a while, something will happen and it restores the feeling all over. And the last night was the night we went to Donnell's party and you did the Netflix show. Y'all all did it. I was just there being a fan, just like, I'm with my boys. They're winning. They're doing the Netflix shit. This is dope. I'm taking pictures of y'all. Like, there's a part of that where we having drinks. We go to Donnell's shit. And I don't know if you've seen the video. He posted a video on his page. It was like a montage of like the whole night.
Yeah.
And remember when we walked in, he was like, nigga, you mad or whatever because of the joke.
You mild, nigga,
yeah,
you
the
mild.
Corey said to him.
Yeah.
When you watch that video, I'm standing right, you can see me, I'm right next to you, whatever. People like, yo, I seen you. I'm like, yeah. And then the one thing I thought about when we got in there was like, career-wise, I'm not as accomplished as most of the people in that room. But when I walked in, everybody's getting love. And I wasn't there like on with Tom. I mean, I was, but it was like, people was like, yo, you funny as hell. Yo, people was asking to take pictures with me. I'm like, oh, nigga, I belong here. Nigga, like, I'm accomplished in something else that hopefully pushes me to the thing I want to do. But I wasn't there like as Robin.
You in the room.
I was a Batman in my own sense. Like, people was coming up to me like, oh, shit, nigga, you the funniest. Yo, the videos of it. I'm like, oh. So I was in that room and I'm like, this is, oh, we good, nigga.
That's funny because you know what? It's so funny you said that when I traveled with my brother places, and I remember back in the day when he was, you know, who he is, and I was not even in comedy. I was the guy that would push to the side to get to my brother. Girls,
yo, take this picture of us.
Yeah. Like, all that. But now we say this all the time. Like when we go on a spot, it's like, yo, it's Batman and Batman. Like, I'm Batman too.
Batman and Superman.
Yeah,
like
it's Batman and Superman hanging out in a comedy club, or Batman and Superman having a dinner together. It's like this shit changed.
That feeling, yo. So when that happened, that was like the last night. You probably remember it was like big because it was like this is the Netflix special was. I mean, the festival was the thing of things for that time. And I remember you saying I got passed over for 2 years in a row.
Yes.
Fuck, these niggas are gonna wake up. You know what I mean? So it was like we was just all together that night, and it was like.
Dope.
And it's crazy because like I know you all the time. You know, I've been to your private birthday dinner and shit. Like it wasn't like just anybody could come. You invited me. So when people go home, like, yo, you still talk to Tom? I'm like, yeah, all the time. Talking, you know what I'm saying? We on the show. Like, so they look at me like, damn, you really? And it's like, your success is validating me to my friends because it's like they respect you enough and admire you enough to be like, he wouldn't be fucking with this person if he was a dud. So in a way, it's kind of like I'm stamping you. Yeah, he's cool.
I get it. Wait, you know what's funny? I'm in. I forgot what city we was in. Summertime Butch had just came out. Show's over. We in the car. It's a bunch of comics, bunch of chicks. They listening to Summertime Butch, and your skit comes on, and there's two girls talking, and the girl goes, we in the truck, so I might be second row behind the driver, maybe, or behind the passenger, and the chick's a third row with some comics. And your joint comes on and the girl goes, oh, that's the guy that does the funny TikTok videos. He's on the album. And I just go like this.
See, remember I asked you if he knew that?
I'm like, yo, like I could be like, you know, that's my man, I know. But they so in the moment, they have enjoying it. I'm like, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a good one, Mike. That's a score for Mike right there.
Yeah, he brought that up. He was like, we was going to Chicago and it came on. He was like, yo, is this... He didn't know about
that was like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when it first came out.
Yeah. I asked him, I said, did Tone know?
Oh, of course,
that,
of
he was
course.
Like, I don't know. He was like,
said, yeah,
of course.
I was like, I didn't know if he knew it.
Joe was like,
first of all, Summertime Butch 5 mics. I gave it 5 mics.
It's dope.
Son, the day it dropped, I was like, you know, because, you know, Benny's like, yo, midnight, it's going to, okay,
yeah.
1 o'clock, I'm in the house, like, oh, it dropped, boom. As soon as it comes, oh shit, Mike, okay, cool.
Yeah, he called me the week before that and was like, yo, I need you. I'm like, bet.
Yeah.
I only told one person, my man's like a super Benny fan. I was like, yo, don't say shit. I don't know if it's gonna be on the album or not, but he hit me up. He was like, all right.
Dope.
So when he said that, I was like, yeah, that shit.
No,
yeah.
Of course I knew,
Yeah,
bro.
all right. I didn't know. I asked him, I was like, did he know before? He's like, I don't know.
I did.
The night it dropped, I knew.
Yeah,
the night it dropped.
I'm like, is this Mike? Tony wanted to say yes, but I just didn't realize. I thought he meant like yes, like
I
recognize the voice.
Yeah.
But me and Joe was like, I think this is Mike. I told Joe, I think this is Mike Murphy.
But you know, and I know we keep saying we'll get back to the feature thing, but I thought about this because you brought it up. So my page took off, and I remember you was like, bro, the first time I seen you was like, yo, niggas are sending me your shit. I'm like, yo, that's my man or whatever. It was like, it felt good. It was like, and the one thing you said to me, and at the time, I didn't take it as like, he don't know what he's talking about. At the time, it's like when you get told anything that's going against whatever you're doing,
right? You
might be like, nah, I believe in this, or like, I appreciate it, but so you was like, yo, it sounds like you don't speak like that in your videos.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, it's hitting like people like it and whatever. I was like, then you said that, and Enrico said the same thing, and I was just like, fuck, let me just use my regular voice. And now, like, sometimes if I don't got nothing to put up one day, like if I didn't make a video, I'm like, I'm gonna go back to my old videos. When I hear those videos now, I'm like, nah, I'm not posting this. Like, but it was because of what you said. Like, I had to take a step back instead of being like, you see what I'm doing? That shit working.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't listening to you. I was like, nah, this is a perspective from someone comedically who's great, but also is not.
It wasn't
not my baby. It's not his baby. So he's like, objectively, this is how it sounds to
it
me.
wasn't constructive criticism. It was just my opinion. Like,
you know, it's like,
so it's like,
but it was constructive.
But as friends, I'm like, hey, this is what I think.
You know, it's like, all right.
There would have been no malice if you were like, yo, fuck, nigga, I'm doing it this way. Okay.
No, but I took it in the moment. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, no, I'm gonna probably still. But before I made another video, I was like, let me think of let me step back. Why is he saying this? Like, he's a funny dude. Da, da, da. And then most of my demographic was from New York. I'm like, he's from New York, so he has a different. Like, he's hearing it the way they're hearing it. And some people was like, oh, I like his cadence or whatever, but it wasn't. Then I was like, nah, it's not how I talk. So when I listen to him now, I was like, it's like if you listen to a set from 15 years ago, you were like, you thought that was funny? Yeah. It probably was, but you've got so much better that your lens is like,
right.
That's kind of how I look.
Your scope is wider.
Yeah, so now when I make videos and I look back at that, I'm like it was doing good, but nah, that ain't it. So anyways, I appreciate the recognition for the album and shit, but